Whoa. I don't know where to go. Reading rainbow. I went returning. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Am I PBS Kids or what am I doing here? Oh, Saj. You're here for a book review. Yes, I am. I'm here for a book review, yes. What's up, you guys? Sasha Boss here. I'm sorry for this intro, but I think it's fun. So today, I'm going to review The One and Only Bob. I recently finished the book called The One and Only Bob. This book is such a good novel. I'm going to get into all my full detail in a minute. This book takes place right after The One and Only Ivan, which you saw in the intro. I have both books. I pre-ordered The One and Only Bob off of Amazon, and I absolutely adored it. I also took some nice notes for you guys as well, in case you're wondering. So, let's begin with my things I want to talk to you guys about. Warning, this contains some spoilers. Make sure you read One and Only Ivan, and then read One and Only Bob, and then you can jump onto this video, and I can explain a lot of things you might have missed, questions you haven't answered, but it's my opinion, how I feel about it, so let's begin. The book takes place right after the events of The One and Only Ivan. It takes place with the whole aftermath where Ruby, Ivan are living in the zoo, which now they call it the park. Bob is living with Julia and George and Sarah at their house. Apparently Mac lives in that neighborhood because Julia is a dog walker in the neighborhood. She walks all sorts of dogs, so Snickers is part of the book. She has some character aspects in there, and I will detail in her story later on. But, so Bob, so it takes place with Bob. We learn so much about Bob, like some of the things my dog does. It's called the bed boogie, where your dog literally settles down and is like dancing. That's what we call a bed boogie, and I absolutely adore the book. Really cute. I felt sad in some parts. Some of it's dark. It's just a really nice book. So let's go on. Bob talks about his life with George and Julia. He talks a lot about that, which I really like the aspect of that. Julia calls Bob Robert, which is Bob's full name, and Bob hates it because his name is Bob, not Robert. It's kind of cute that Julia calls him that. Julia is still an artist, which is really nice. I like that about the book. Some of my favorite parts about Bob is like his origin story. It's pretty much how he escaped with his sister. And Bob, from there on, he would live with Ivan. He found his way to Ivan, which is discussed in The One and Only Bob. I really appreciated the whole storyline with Bob, and my favorite part of the book is like this friendship with Ivan, and it's just really nice. Like my whole favorite part of the book is the hurricane. The hurricane is the coolest part of the book. It's the darkest part of the book. It has more of aspects I want to talk to you guys about. The hurricane takes place. So the hurricane, Bob's goal was trying to find his sister, which she heard a yelp, and that his sister's still living, and they went to an animal shelter. And then they the whole adventure with her. And the thing I like about Bob, he talked about he got injured, but he's like brave and he helped out all sorts of dogs at the end, which I really appreciated that. This whole story of Bob. I don't know what my favorite part is. The book is amazing. Just like Ivan. Like my favorite part of Ivan is the whole story arc with Ivan and Bob watching like TV and talking to Ruby. Stella's death was one of my favorite parts. Like it's really emotional, and yeah, I'm really appreciative of what the author described, and that's what I love about it. What would I recommend to you guys? I would say Bob and Ivan. Just read them both. Hoping they do the sequel to The One and Only Ivan, which is called The One and Only Ruby. So Ruby's in it. She has a lot of aunts. He's still called Bob, Uncle Bob. Like in the first book, Ruby still tells riddles, which I think is really cute. Anything with Ruby is cute. I love this book, the pieces, I love Bob's whole origin story like this. I like how Bob talks about he hates being called Robert, and he talks about how he has puppy eyes and the inner wolf that's in him. Just like, he's just a brave little puppy, and I just want to cuddle with him, but I can't because I have August, which is my dog, but really interpret what's happening. Like Ruby's life, I want to know more of, like on the hurricane and stuff. Like one of my favorite jokes is, this is a spoiler, but Ivan and Ruby and Bob are all surfing, like falling down, trying to find Julia and George, and the hurricane and the flood. And he says, "Oh, I'm not drinking. Seriously, I'm not drinking. I swear, there's an elephant, a gorilla, and a dog riding on a gorilla's shoulder. I'm not drinking, sir. I can text you a picture." Something like that. And I absolutely adore that part. It's one of my favorite parts of the book. Bob loves cheese. Like, he's worried about he's going to die. I'm like, he's not going to die. He's Bob. Like, he's everyone's heart. And, like, you can't go wrong with him. So Ivan has a crush named Kumari, which is kind of cute. Ivan has a crush, and Ivan doesn't know what to do about it. So, what happened to Not Tag? Not Tag is actually living with Bob at Bob's house because he misses Ivan's belly, and he talks about that in the book, which I like, his mall life. Which I want more of the mall life, like for Ruby, I want to know her circus story, I want to know her wild story, which we learn a little bit of that, but not a lot. The only Bob talks about her zoo life primarily in the book, which I really appreciated that whole storyline with Ruby. Ruby loves her new family. She has a ton of grandmas, aunts, uncles, and just beautiful. Beautiful. I love Ruby. Super cute gorilla. Super cute elephant, I mean. Sorry. Bob's sister's named Boss, which I really can incorporate with myself. I'm Boss. And I feel like Boss is so cute. I want to know what happened to her. Like, after the whole hurricane, there's nothing said about Boss. I don't know if she survived. I'm not really sure what happened to her. I read it. I'm not sure what happened to her. And then the very end of the book, I think the Catherine Applegate literally said this, like, there's a door for you, Bob. And someone at the door for you, Bob. And then the book ends there. And it could be Snickers or it could be Boss. I feel like it could be Boss or the news because he's a savior to dogs. Which I really like. Because Ivan got a Medal of Honor, which is made out of cucumbers and watermelon. And he ate most of it. Because it's Ivan. Why not eat? He's a hungry gorilla. He has to eat. But I just feel like I want Ruby's story next. I really want Ruby's story. And Snickers is a side character. Ruby and Ivan agree that it'd be cute for that Bob to get together with Snickers, and it kind of happens at the end of the book. Spoiler! Bob can tell like how much Bob hates like Snickers like in the beginning of the book, and then they grew together throughout the book. They're all together at once, and just really nice. It's a really nice book. I feel like it's very family oriented. I just want to say, I love One Only Ivan. Also, Mac's house got destroyed during the hurricane, and Julia's house survived the hurricane, which is kind of nice. I want to know what happened to Mac. I thought he was in prison all this time, but he's actually living in the same neighborhood as George. And I thought George would be older and like fatter, but no, he's skinny, and I don't know. That's how they drew him up. I always figured he's an old man, like kind of stressed, after the zoo. But I highly recommend The One Only Bob. The zoo's gonna get repaired, so stay tuned if they do The One Only Ruby. Which I'm very, very excited for that book if the Catherine Applegate does it. So hope you guys like and subscribe at Sasha Boss for The One and Only Bob review. I just love that whole aspect of the book. So hope you guys like and subscribe at Sasha Boss, and I give this book a 10 out of 10. Thanks for watching.